It is I, Sailor Mercury, and I'm here to talk about Hit Single. I am very, very late to the party. 4 YouTubers have already talked about this one, and if I don't hurry it up, Indie6 is gonna make it 5, so I guess I should start talking about this one. But first, if you can't tell, there's a new little mini-me on the corner. She's got 3 expressions: anger, neutral, and happiness. Anger is for the G, F, D tiers. Neutral expression is for C and B tiers, and everything else will be the happy expression. Now, with that out of the way, let's explain what I am not ranking today. I am not ranking Burr I'm Cold, I am not ranking Car's Little Song, and I am not ranking Tritorial. I'm not ranking Burr I'm Cold and Car's Little Song because they were removed, and the reason why I'm not ranking Tritorial is because I literally have nothing to talk about with Tritorial. I tried for a while to think of something, but I literally could not think of anything. If I had to say something, it would probably be this: oh, it's a good song, it's a C tier. Yeah, Tritorial would be a C tier, Burr I'm Cold would be a C tier, and Car's Little Song would be an F tier. So that would just be more negativity to add to the list, which would suck. But everything else is fair game. So let's get started with my easy least favorite of the mod.
Ooh, very scary.
Dude, listen, it's so retro.
So retro, dude.
It's just looking nice.
Got caught in the 1980s. They want their retro back.
I really did not want to put So Retro in this ranking. I really did not want to. But it did unfortunately fit the bill. Does that mean I like this one? No, I do not like So Retro much at all, actually. To start off with, Boyfriend's Chromatic is so freaking ear rape inducing. It's not fun to listen to. Mario is very boring. He's not as bad as Boyfriend, but he's really not good. The melodies are the only reason the song is actually not an F tier, because there are a couple of melodies I think are pretty good, but yeah, I do not like this song. There's a part in the middle I do kind of like a bit though, but that's like it. Nothing else about the song really pikes my interest, and this is my least favorite of the OST. Always has been and always probably will be. I hate this song. Okay, I don't hate it, but it's a bad song, and that being said, the next one's just as bad, if not a little better, not gonna lie.
I'm gonna kill you.
Let There Be Light is a song that, in my eyes, can go rot in a hot December hell. And so can everybody who thinks this song is incredible, because editing Mercury here, I just want to point out, whenever I say something like this, it's not intended to be mean in the slightest. It just is something that I like to say as a joke. If you guys take offense to this, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cause any annoyance. I'm just trying to make a funny little joke. but if you don't like that, I'll stop doing that. I'm sorry, this is not incredible. Not even in the slightest is this anywhere remote to good. But I do want to get a couple positives out of the way first. For one, I do kind of like Dustman's chromatic. It sounds fine in a vacuum. Get it? Because he's a vacuum robot. Anyway, besides Dustman's chromatic, the instrumental is pretty good at parts. I think it's handled well in most cases. There are a few cases I don't like it, mostly in the second half, but it's handled well enough. The instrumental is not the greatest, but again, it's tolerable, and I think the lyrics for the song are very good. They are incredibly well done, and my third favorite pair of lyrics from the entire mod. However, there also was keeping the song above so retro, because... Okay, now it's time for my problem, because there's a couple. First off, I despise Mega Man's chromatic. I do not like how it sounds in the slightest. It is so poorly mixed in with the song, it actively makes me furious whenever I listen to his chromatic. And you know what? That's not even the worst part. Everything after this section, after the lyrics are done, is literally just feels like noise. And you know why? I've got a good reason. Because this final part right here is mixed so awfully that whenever the lyrics finish, I just want to skip this song, go into what's next on my playlist. I don't want to listen to the song anymore. It actively infuriates me how bad this second half was. In fact, if this second half did not exist, this song would be maybe a B tier, but right now it's sitting in a very... It's sitting in a low D tier, and I just... This song makes me furious and numb. I haven't felt this annoyed at a song since Coco Pico Mix or Humiliation V3, which we'll get to those in future videos, by the way, but this song... Look, if you like this song, I can get it, but I don't. I don't like this song much at all. I'm sorry. Here it is, the only C tier of the entire mod. Joyous. This song in my eyes is both overhyped and overhated. And if I'll be completely real, I am very much torn on this song. Some days I like it, some days I don't. And you know what? I've actually got a couple reasons for both sides. Let's start off with some negatives. First up is Lord X's chromatic. Look, I'm sorry, but Lord X Wrath has forever ruined that chromatic for me. I no longer enjoy this chromatic. It's serviceable in a song, but it's not very good. The instrumental in this section is kind of weak, which is a shame because that's something that Churgny Gurgny is really good at doing, making instrumentals. Look at someone like Red Killer, he made a banger instrumental there, but it really does not show here. And then there's Joe Boy, I think is what he's called. His chromatic's a little weird. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's really not that great either. It's better than Lord X's chromatic, but again, just a chromatic that kind of just exists. The melodies in the first section aren't really all that good. They're really weak, not gonna lie. They just kind of exist. I don't remember many of them. There's a couple I remember, like a few in the beginning, and like one at the end, but that's really it. There's like nothing else I remember about this first half. It's just a first half that is kind of boring. And this little voice line happens, where he says he will continue existing as Lord X for as long as he wants. But he needs Joe Doughboy to continue this. And then this melody that comes afterwards is pretty good. I like it. Also, if anybody doesn't know, this isn't Lord X. It's some kind of faker Lord X, I think. I could be wrong on that, but this is I remember seeing on the wiki. And then we get the red flashbang into Phase 2. Okay, Phase 2 is slightly better than Phase 1. Not by much, because Lord X's chromatic is still not great. It's a little better, and the melodies they're kind of boring here. They're not forgettable, they're just a little boring. The instrumental's finally starting to kick up in intensity, so that's something nice, I guess. And then we get into the Mutilated Green Hills section. This part is actually where a song starts finally getting good. I like this section. The lyrics here, though, are kind of weak. I think it's very clear from like Shell Shock or D-Sides. I don't like when lyrics start and stop. Is it as bad as Shell Shock or D-Sides? No, it's not. It's only 2 lines, unlike Shell Shock or D-Sides, it's 4. But still, it's a little annoying, and they are the weakest set of lyrics in the entire mod, which is kind of a shame, because for a while that position went to Trico, but after a while Trico's lyrics got better. And then, after a lyrical section, we get into another good section of the song. Finally, we're starting to get something more positive, and this section just pops off the entire way through. I think it's handled very, very well. The melody here is super catchy, even though it's basically just one long turn between both of them, but it does still sound really good, especially in Joe's performance. And then we get into the execution reference. No, this isn't a Cycles reference, it's an execution reference, people. However, there is one other problem I need to mention. This song had no business being 6 minutes long. If it was something like 4 or 5, I could maybe put this in D tier, but for right now, it's sitting at a very, very high C tier, because right after the execution reference, the song just goes kind of right back to boring until the very end, which also, I don't like the end flame section. It's not very good. So yeah, Joyous is a song that exists. I don't like it, but I don't hate it at the same time. It's just a very solid C tier. I don't know what's funnier. The fact that Power of Pig is not in the bottom 3, or the fact that Power of Pig rose higher than something like Joyous and Let There Be Light. Because this song is kind of just a joke song, but it's actually kind of funny. Now, let's get my big issue away right out of the gate. The pig's chromatic. It's just oinking for the first 3 quarters, which is kind of a shame because when he actually has his good chromatic, it sounds really good. In fact, if that was his default chromatic the entire way through, this song would probably be either an A or an S tier. But it's not, and it's holding this one back into a higher B tier. Everything else is though really good. The instrumental is very nice. It kind of gives me farm vibes, and I like the pig's melodies, even though it's just oinking. But I do like it when he does his singing too. It's still some good melodies. Boyfriend sounds pretty normal, not much new on his part, but overall this is just a pretty good song that I do like, just wish it was the normal chromatic and not oinking. And here it is, Fake Baby, the only S tier of the mod. That's right, everything else after Fake Baby is SS. Unfortunately, Fake Baby was never going to be an SS for 2 reasons. I'll get the first one addressed right now. For one, the opening intro is incredibly long, and it's kind of annoying, and so that should have been shortened down to like 20 seconds. It's almost 40, and that just annoys me. That's not my only issue, we'll get to that later. Let's talk positive now. For one, I kind of like No More Innocence's chromatic. It's handled very well. That was one of the one in, what is it, Horrorland in Analog Funkin', and the one that Lifer made for that No More Innocence mod, and the one in Genesis. Yeah, I didn't love those chromatics, but I like this one quite a bit. Daddy Dearest all sounds pretty good. Dee Dee doesn't really get a chance to sing very often, so when he does, it sounds very nice, and I like how his chromatic is used here. The instrumental is very chilling. It kind of reminds me of Dagobah from Star Wars. Just that, anyone else have that feeling, or is it just me? And the melodies are all very nice and catchy. Not a single one I dislike, and they're all handled very well in the middle. I especially like them in the middle. However, I do have one other small problem with this song. That being the ending. Look, I like this ending, but I think it's incredibly overhyped. I think it just gets a bit too messy. And when I like the instrumental, the vocals, they feel too quiet. I feel like the instrumental is just overpowering the vocals, and if I'll be honest, I don't really like that. If the instrumental was quieter or the vocals were louder, I prefer if the instrumental was quieter, but if one of those two things could happen, I would probably have the song ranked a little bit higher, but I unfortunately don't. I think this one's handled very well, but I do think Fake Baby could have just been a little bit stronger. Plus the fact that the ending instrumental isn't the greatest. It's better than the opening, but again, could have been a song that was a little better and not one I particularly love.
We may be your extra lives, but you were our last. No!
Here's a song that I bet nobody was expecting to get as high as it is. Treacle. Yeah, I just love this song. We've entered the SS's now, and although Treacle's a recent one, it's a damn good one. This song just hits everything right, down to the chromatics, which, oh boy, both custom chromatics are beautiful. Boyfriends is one of the best I've ever heard on an FNF mod, and Lord X, anything over his default chromatic. I don't like that chromatic. I've made that clear so many times that I don't like that chromatic. And then the lyrics. These lyrics are sung so beautifully well. Words cannot describe how good these freaking lyrics are. They're so unbelievably incredible. And the mixing for the lyrics is done just as damn well. All the writing is just great. It shows Lord X's pain. You can feel the agony. He's dying, and so is everything else. We're not looking at him as an antagonist. We're looking at him as a fallen hero. Someone who's been through so much, and even though he's tormented boyfriend for so long, he wants to be remembered, and boyfriend honors that wish in this song. It tugs at the heartstrings, and it's so unbelievably beautiful. This song tugs at the heartstrings so well. Not the greatest of the entire mod. There is one other song, but this one is a damn close second. However, the reason why it's not on the top 3 is because I think the instrumental could have been handled a little bit better at parts. It's not bad. Like, it's actually done very well, but it could have been handled a bit better, and this one and number 3 fought for a while, but after a while, I did put number 3 where it was, and unfortunately, Treacle was left in the dust, but still, it's a song I love to pieces, and it's just so well done.
You bear the mark. You are cursed.
First is a banger of a song. When this song first came out, I think it was around in September, this was just, I loved the song to pieces. And for a while it did fall off, and then it just rose right back up. That's how good this song is. This song has this aura, this energy to it that I haven't felt since Faker of Sonic.exe. That's how good it is with its aura. And you know what? That's not even the best part. You know what is the best part? The Cursed One's chromatic. It sounds so smooth and is one of the most unique chromatics out there in all of FNF. I will stand by that. It's not my favorite chromatic of all time, but it's a real damn good one. Easily top 5 of the entire mod. And you know what? The melodies are just as freaking good. Especially right here. It just sounds so freaking good with its ba ba ba. It just sounds so incredible. And the instrumental is also done exceptionally well. It's used good the entire way through. I do not get tired of listening to the song ever. So you're probably asking yourself, why isn't this one higher? Well, as much as I love this song and Trickle, I gotta admit, the top 2 were just objectively better by quite a wide margin. Like, don't get me wrong, I still love Erst quite a bit, but when trying to rank it above the top 2, it was impossible. The top 2 were just so much better, and I love Erst, but unfortunately, it's never making it to the top 2. But seriously, top 3 is still a damn good achievement for this mod, especially this mod has so many good highs. I just love Erst so much.
Mr. Squidward, welcome to the night shift.
Tonight we rehearse for the greatest concert to ever be held, Quest Station. A symphony unmatched by even Neptune himself. And you've got the leading role. Won't you join me?
I'm not gonna get too in-depth with Boulder Brash, since Indie Skits will be discussing this one right after I'm done with this one. I'm talking about this one first because I like to discuss my SS's, and yeah, Boulder Brash is a damn good SS. For a while it was the king of hit single, and it was a really good one, but oh boy, I have a small issue with this one, but we'll get into that later after I get to some positives. First up, Mr. Krabs' chromatic. This is easily top 3 of the mod. I wouldn't call it better than Lord X's chromatic, and I think it's tied with yourself's chromatic, but it's still an incredible chromatic, and I love it. The instrumental is also very well done the entire way through, giving you this melancholy vibe. And the part with the clarinet in Squidward's mouth and the world's smallest violin is very nice. When I first heard the song, I had no idea what Mr. Krabs was playing, but now that I do, I think it's a lot better than I remember it once being. And the notes of the song are all absolutely incredible. So why isn't this one in first place? Okay, I have a tiny issue with this song. Okay, not really an issue, more of a nitpick. Squidward's chromatic is not incredible. It doesn't really sound a ton like Squidward. It sounds kind of like him, which I guess kind of fits in his current state, but I wish it was a bit more Squidward sounding, because it doesn't feel a ton like Squidward. It's still an amazing chromatic, don't get me wrong, but compared to something like Mr. Krabs' chromatic, it's no contest which one is better. Easily Mr. Krabs. So yeah, while I love Boulder Brash to pieces, there was one song in the mod that I knew was better. And now I'm gonna pass the baton on to Indie Skits and let him have his turn on his favorite song in the mod.
Hey guys, it's me, MJ from Indie Skits, whatever. Guys, this song means everything to me, and then some. I love every single second of this song. I'm just gonna start now. Squidward's chromatic is absolutely incredible. Like, this is... Mr. Krabs' chromatic is absolutely perfect too. This instrumental, it's different, it's eerie, but also nice, and just... The piano is just so good, and the instruments are used so greatly, especially near the end of the song where it goes super intense and finalic, and this really does feel like two people battling, well, arguing, and I love it. Squidward's high notes are absolutely incredible, and Mr. Krabs, the pop-off just goes in with them, but when they do it, it just sounds incredible. It's just, the instruments part is just so good, with the clarinet and the world's tiniest violin. First of all, the world's tiniest violin reference, it's just so funny and fits Krabs perfectly. Second of all, it just sounds amazing. It just, it goes in, and then when Mr. Krabs transitions into singing again with the violin still there a little, just, it's so good. But this final part just feels so climactic. Like, this is where it ends. This is their final stands. It's just so beautiful. The instrumental becomes super intense and nice. It just sounds absolutely incredible. This song is amazing. It means everything to me. It's not only top 10 FNF songs, but it might even be good enough for top 5. I love every single second of it. The intenseness. Also, I haven't even talked about the beginning. Is just so good. The instrumental there is just such an immediate tone setter. Squidward's lines are just amazing, and his voice actor does a kick-ass job. And the ending is just so good with Squidward dying, and it's just voice acted so well too. I love every single second of this song. I will not apologize for loving this song as much as I do. It is an SS plus for me, and I wish this song was number 1, even though I know it's not gonna be. But, you know, spoilers for if I ever rank hit single, but this will always be number 1. I don't care how good Silly Billy is. I love this song, and I always will. Alright, back to you, Sailor.
took her away from me. And 7 kingdoms couldn't fill the hole she left behind.
You all can have your bold or brash, or your joyous, or your let there be light. But for me, I'm gonna be old school and stick with Silly Billy, the song that reignited the spark of hope for FNF. And while for many people it has died down, this song has just gotten better and better every single time I listen to it. There is so much positivity in this song. Starting with the instrumental, it's very well done, and I feel like it meshes very well with both yourself and boyfriend's chromatics. Speaking of chromatics, yourself's chromatic is very well done. It's the second best in the entire mod, with Lord X's trichochromatic being in the lead, and Mr. Crap's chromatic right behind it. But I do still love the chromatic very well, and I think it's mixed very well with the instrumental. Like, the mixing in this entire song is done very well. I can't think of a single part where it's not done well. And all the melodies, especially in the first and second half of the song, are just, they're done so well. There's not a single melody I do not think is not properly placed in. It's just, it's handled so well. But that's not even the best part of the entire song. Because as the song just gets better and better, comes a part that, in my eyes, rivals the lyrics section. The mimic section. The instrumental somehow gets even better here. And yourself's strong and chromatic is very, very well done. I love how it sounds. It sounds like a twisted version of Boyfriend. Which, while the original already sounded twisted, this one sounds a lot more like Boyfriend, and it's so freaking darn good. And it's tuned super well and with the instrumental. And now, it's time for a little story on my past with Silly Billy. You see, when Silly Billy first came out, in very, very late April last year, when I first heard the song, I hated it. Yeah, I hated Silly Billy. I thought it was another faker boyfriend, and I was like, oh, not another faker concept. I'm sick of these. Because this was the time when I was really getting sick of everything Sonic.exe. But after a while, after about a month or so, I finally gave the song its proper chance, and since that day, I've grown to love it. I've grown to love it so much that I cannot think of anywhere else to put the song besides number 1. Yeah, Boulder Brash may have had its time in the spotlight, but Silly Billy will now always hold that crown of being number 1, and it's not even a question. It's so freaking well done, and I get it if you've lost a lot of the spark that this song once had for you, but for me it just gets better and better and better every single day. It just sounds so incredible the entire way through. And you know something else? You can just feel the tragedy in this song. I know I said Tricle had the second best in storytelling, but this is easily the best right here. You can just see yourself's pain. You can feel his agony. But we all know that he wants to keep singing, even with herself gone, because that's what makes him happy. Because even though she's gone, he knows that herself would have wanted him to keep on pushing through, even after her death, which is still a mystery to us as FNFers. We still have no clue how she fully died, but it's portrayed so well. And it's portrayed the best in these lyrics right here. These lyrics are genuinely the second best FNF lyrics out there. They're not the best. I will still stand by the fact that I think Everlasting has the best. And while Buds and Bloods is right on Silly Billy's heels, it's still beautiful because the lyrics could mean, they can mean one of two things for me. It could either be a message to boyfriend or a reminiscence to herself. And either way, they're just sung so well. This song is beautiful. It's beautiful the entire way through. Will it ever be my favorite? No. Rage Party holds the crown of all FNFs. But Silly Billy is right on its heels. I love this song. It portrays a great story. And while it may not be my favorite, it does everything I want. And so much more. And with that, we have finished Friday Night Funkin' hit single. I'll be honest, for a long while I had no idea this mod really existed. Like, I knew there was a small mod with some Lord X stuff in there, but I didn't really know what the mod was all about. I never really got truly into the mod until Silly Billy was released, and after that we got Erst, and Bro I'm Cold, and then Let There Be Light, and I really started following in the mod's footsteps, and everything in this mod is really good. Sure, there are some bad stuff in there, like Let There Be Light and So Retro, but even so, the positives of this mod just overweigh the negatives so much. I really like this mod, and I can't wait to see what its final update is going to give us. But until we know what it's going to fully give us, here is my current tier list. Yeah, a bit of an odd one, especially with Tricle being in the top 4 and Joyous being in the bottom 3 along with Let There Be Light. But you should probably be expecting at least one hot take from me for every video that comes out, because that's what makes us unique as FNF Rankers. We're all gonna have a different opinion. And I can't wait to see you on the next video. I'm gonna keep it as a little surprise. We're gonna put it as a mystery poll, and I'll let you guys select what's gonna be next. But until then, I'll see you next time.